Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy back again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the iPhone 16. I think it's finally time. I haven't really touched on this topic ever since the iPhone 15 came out, and I think we're kind of in the middle where we're now starting to hear a little bit about the iPhone 16, and maybe because their stocks are down and we really haven't heard a lot from them, and now suddenly we're starting to hear rumors about them to bring the stocks up. I don't know, that's just my opinion. It's a joke as well. I'm not really serious about that. We are hearing a lot of rumors specifically about the Pro, the 16 Pro, which is going to be coming out this year in September. This is not really a redesign year, so we're not going to see big changes when it comes to the design, apart from maybe just one thing. But for the most part, it's going to be just some refinements that we're going to be seeing, some improvements. We're going to talk about a few things that are interesting, some things that are kind of odd, starting with the display. So the displays are, for the first time in a very long time, rumored to get bigger. So we are hearing that the iPhone 16 will go from 6.1 inches to 6.3 inches, which I believe is a welcome change because the 6.1 inch size is just a perfect size. It's not really too big. It's not something that's really difficult to hold in the hands. It's actually probably one of the most perfect sizes for any phone. And the iPhone 16 Pro Max is going to go from the current 6.7 inches to 6.9 inches, which is almost phablet territory. It kind of doesn't make sense to me because the size is too big. I mean, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is already huge. It's really difficult to even use with one hand. Making it even bigger is going to be a little bit, it's kind of weird to me. I don't see why there should be any size changes at this moment. So talking about the display, I'm also going to discuss the dynamic island. Now the dynamic island was something that was also rumored to change this time, and by change I mean obviously getting smaller. And the rumor was that it was going to now be changed into a punch hole design notch, which means that the Face ID, or Apple has somehow figured out to have the Face ID under the display, just like an under display camera. We're still not at the stage where we can see a fully flawless display when it comes to that. So we're not going to see something similar to what some of the Android's phone have done, or similar to what the Galaxy Z Fold 5 did, where the camera is hidden, because we all know how the quality is going to be. So I think whenever Apple is going to do it, they're going to do it professionally. They're going to make sure that the quality is also good. But I think we still have a few years before we actually see a dynamic island, or no dynamic island at all, just a screen without any sort of notch or punch hole design. But I should mention that this rumor is actually not true. So initially it was rumored that the dynamic island was going to be changed on the iPhone 16, which kind of made sense because it's been 2 years since we haven't seen any change. So this was a year where some people were expecting the dynamic island to change. But latest rumors suggest that it's actually going to be happening on the iPhone 17 and not on the 16. So we're still going to have to wait for that. The only thing, in my opinion, is that if Apple actually wants to go that way and put in a punch hole design camera, it would give it a kind of like an Android look, which because almost every single Android phone out there has the same punch hole design camera, and it's I think the notch, even though some people don't like it, but the notch and the dynamic island design is kind of like a signature look for Apple. So going to the punch hole would I think it would kind of make it look like an Android phone. Now the biggest change that we're hearing, and probably the most unusual one as well, and also one that is related to the design, is the addition of a new action button, or a new capture button is what they're calling it. Now what is a capture button? I don't really know what it is. There's a lot of rumors about this. The only thing that we do know is that this is kind of credible because a lot of people have actually reported it. There's a lot of sources about this. So what that is that there's going to be a new button just here below, just a few inches below the power button, which is kind of going to serve as a dedicated camera button or a video button. The weird thing about this is that we just had the iPhone 15 Pro come with an action button, and we know that that action button can be programmed into triggering the camera app and opening up any sort of video mode or camera mode. So it's kind of it was kind of weird to see what's the purpose of that. Some rumors are suggesting that this has to do something with Apple VR, or the Reality Pro VR headset that is going to be coming out and is going to be related to that. And some people are suggesting that it's not really going to be a physical button, but it's going to be kind of like a sensor or sort of like a shoulder trigger that's going to be used. Now, I don't know, to me it seems like it's just going to be a shutter button for the camera. Now, talking about buttons, we are also going to see a little bit of a better build for the iPhone 16 Pro, and you guys must be wondering what buttons have to do with that. Well, the thing is that last year it was rumored that the iPhone 15 Pro will be coming out with solid state buttons, and it actually didn't happen. But this time we're hearing that that's going to happen. So all of the buttons on the iPhone are going to be converted into solid state, and what that means is less moving parts on the iPhone, which means that it's gonna probably increase the durability, also increase the waterproofing capabilities of the phone. Battery wise as well, we are hearing that the battery is gonna be slightly better, and this is probably the first time that Apple is taking the battery seriously. A lot of the times the battery is ignored, to the point where we don't even know what the milliamperes are going to be for the battery. We never seen official numbers from Apple, but this time we are hearing that the battery is actually going to be seriously changing, and there is a picture on Twitter that has been roaming around that shows us an actual battery. And if you look at this picture, the biggest difference that we're seeing is that instead of the regular black battery, this battery actually has a metal covering on top of it, which kind of indicates that it's going to be used for better thermals, so the battery is not going to heat up that much, and if your battery is not heating up that much, it's not going to degenerate that much. So it means that you may be able to get a better battery life. And then we've been also hearing about stackable battery technology, but there's one small detail that if you look into this picture, you can see that the milliamperes are 3,355 milliamperes, which is just 3% more than the current iPhone 15 Pro battery. But again, because of the stackable technology and better thermals, there's a possibility that this may perform better. And we also know the fact that Apple batteries or iPhone batteries are actually way better than other phones. So nowadays, every phone that I've been reviewing has a standard 5,000 milliampere battery, but the battery life is not nearly as good as on the iPhone 15 Pro. So we know that even at a smaller milliampere capacity, the battery is going to be performing better. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the cameras, because there wouldn't be a leak video without the camera upgrade. And the biggest upgrade that we're seeing here is going to be the telephoto lens, which is currently only available on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So if you want that triple prism lens camera, I don't know what people are calling it, but if the new camera, if you want that on your iPhone, you have to go ahead and buy the bigger iPhone, which is the Pro Max. You have to spend the extra money, and then you're stuck with a phone that you probably don't like because of the size. But now it's rumored that the iPhone 16, the regular 16 Pro, is going to also come in with this camera, which means that now you can simply get the same quality in a smaller phone. But apart from that, I think the biggest news here is that the ultra-wide camera, the 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, is finally getting an upgrade, because as far as I can remember, Apple has always had a 12 megapixel camera when it comes to the ultra-wide. This time we're hearing that it will now be put in with a 48 megapixel camera. The same camera that's being used on the main lens is now going to be also used on the ultra wide, which is a big change and probably one of the best camera upgrades in a long time. I should also mention something about the standard iPhone 16. We don't really have a lot of details about that. Obviously, you know, it's always overlooked in these scenarios. We always usually focus on the Pro models, but there is one change that we are hearing, and that's the camera module design change. So we are hearing that this time Apple is now going to go back from the diagonal cameras, but this time the cameras are now going to be in a line. And to give you a better example, they're going to be very similar to the cameras that we've seen on the iPhone 10 and the 10s. And probably, I think a lot of people say this, I may agree to it to some extent, but I think the camera module on the iPhone 10 and the 10s was probably the best looking one. And one of the reasons why this is actually happening, or why it's rumored to be happening, is because it will now allow to record spatial video with the standard version of the iPhone. So currently you're only able to do that with the Pros, but now out of the box with the iPhone 16, the standard version, you'll be able to shoot spatial video, which would be used then for the Reality Pro headsets. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all the leaks and rumors that we have. I was kind of surprised because for a long time we haven't been really hearing anything, and then all of a sudden we have like 5-6 different rumors and updates on the iPhone. And again, I think it has to do with the stock because of that Apple Watch saga that's happening nowadays. I'll talk about that as well in another video. But let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what features you would like to see, what you're excited about, what you're not excited about. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.